Live. Oh, what's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in at this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. What an embarrassing loss. I mean, this was, like the title says, inexcusable. This was an inexcusable loss by the Lakers. Look, anyone can beat anyone on any given day. It's not that they lost, it's the lack of effort in the way that they played while losing. You know, again, it's the NBA. Guys get hot, teams get hot, stuff happens. That wasn't one of these games. That wasn't one of these things where, like, Detroit just shot the lights out and nobody, and, like, you know, it's just like, you throw your hands up and just go, like, you know, what are you going to do, right? That's not what happened here. Detroit came in and they dominated the Lakers. They did. They out-hustled them. They outplayed them. They literally just, they wanted this win more than Lakers. Lakers came in all nonchalant, just no effort, no energy, just getting outworked, outplayed, out-hustled. I mean, across the board. This is the kind of loss that, you know, these are the kind of games that you could be the difference between you making the playoffs or not. Literally. This is the difference between you being the 6th seed or the 7th seed. This is the difference between you being a playoff team or a play-in team. This is the difference between you making the play-in or missing the play-in. This is inexcusable. You cannot play this way and expect to be a championship contender. Now, look, I've said from the beginning, I don't believe that they're a bona fide contender. Do they have a puncher's chance? Sure. But they need a trade. They need multiple trades. They need more than one guy, right, if they really want to be a bona fide contender. However, you don't have to be a bona fide contender to beat Detroit, right? They're coming off of a back-to-back. And again, this wasn't a game where they just shot the lights out. This wasn't a game where, you know, Detroit just, it's just, man, you know, Detroit just had it tonight. It wasn't that. The Lakers literally did not show up. They literally didn't show up. They didn't play, they decided not to play basketball. Like, what's the point of even being out there? We might as well just play all the young guys and let them get some development and let them get some. Outside of Anthony Davis, I mean, Anthony Davis, you know, did Anthony Davis thing. LeBron was good too. But, you know, like, again, I've talked about this all offseason, right? LeBron James and Anthony Davis, they're good enough to take you where you need to go. But are you going to be completely dead weight? Or are you going to be the team, are you going to make the journey as easy as possible? This is a game where the Lakers were dead weight. This is the kind of effort we saw regularly last year. Now, this is one game in which we've seen this level of effort, right? I hope that this isn't the norm. Last year, we had this problem, like, regularly. Remember, in the first halves, and then it switched to second halves, and then it got back to first halves, right? Like, that's the thing, but that's not what you saw here, right? Like, we got to do a better job of bringing the effort and energy on a regular nightly basis. Our bench is terrible. We got to figure out what we're going to do with the bench. I have a video already scheduled, but I'm hoping Christian Wood solves some of it. I don't think he's like the complete answer, but I do think that he has the potential to help a lot just because he's a guy that's 17-6 off the bench, but still beyond him, you need other things. You know, it's just the Lakers got to make it. The thing is, like, I know a lot of people want to trade right now. You still got to be patient. Also, you're on the road trip. Anything that gets done, it's not going to happen until after the road trip, right? You're going to finish this road trip and then make whatever trades or whatever you need to do. But this is just a bad effort game from everybody. Bad effort game, right? Nobody showed up outside of Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You know, Anthony Davis continues to be just spectacular. Anthony Davis, 13-23 from the floor, right? Free throws, missing free throws, by the way, that hurt a lot too. But he had 37 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 turnovers, right? LeBron, near triple-double, 20, 11, and 8, 2 steals, 7-16 from the floor, 1-2 from 3. But outside of that, you look at Reeves, 3-10 from 3, 7-17 from the floor. Right? I've talked about it. Reeves can't consistently hit shots. And every time I talk about it, everyone comes at me and makes me seem like I'm the bad guy. Right? Anytime I criticize Reeves, everyone talks about, oh, like, Tyler, you don't know ball. Tyler, you're this, that. The guy can't shoot consistently. He's now had more games where he has shot poorly than games that he shot great. People go, oh, it's a small sample size. They keep moving the bar. We had all of last season where we saw this. All of last season, he'd have 3 to 5 games where he shot excellent. And then he'd have 3 or 5 games where he was terrible. We're seeing the same thing this year. He shot 28% from 3 during the playoffs. He shot, I think 20% in preseason. How many sample size games do we need? How many games do we need before we realize Austin Reeves can't consistently produce? D'Angelo Russell. This guy just forgot how to play basketball, right? I've talked about this. D'Angelo Russell is completely phased out at this point, right? He gives you the playmaking, right, which I do appreciate, I do like, but he's not shooting the way that he was last year. But he started off slow last year too and shot 31% and then turned it around. Will he do that? I don't know. But right now, he's not looking great out there. He's getting beat constantly on the defensive side of things. So he can't play defense. Not only can he not play defense, but he's getting completely phased out on the offensive side. You got to get rid of him. You got to trade him. You do. You got to trade him. Hey, your 2 guards, we have no athleticism. We have nothing. We don't. Again, we have too much redundancy. It's why I keep, people go, oh, Tyler, you love to talk trades. You love to talk trades. Yes, because we need it. We need it. We have too many redundancies. Rui Hachimura, he didn't get the attempts, but still, he wasn't great out there. I like when I see Rui being aggressive, attacking, helping rebounding, doing the little things. Right? Not doing it. Gabe Vincent, terrible. Gabe Vincent's trash. Trade him. Seriously. Obviously, he's got to, you got to attach assets because no one's going to just line up to sign Gabe Vincent, but he's salary, right? Max Christie, again, I want to get on Max Christie bad. He's been bad, but again, with him, the young guys, I just can't yet. I can't get there yet just because, again, he went from 0 role, 0 opportunity, nothing to we need you to be the 6th best player, right? That's a huge leap for anybody, let alone a 21-year-old kid who's being asked to do a lot, and he only played 4 minutes. So this wasn't on Max Christie, right? Max Christie played 4 minutes. This wasn't Max Christie was terrible game. So, again, I can't really get on him. But, again, we don't have it. They should have played Connect more. He was 2 of 2 from the floor. I've talked about it. Run some actions for Connect. Run some actions for Connect. All right, can we actually see Connect get an opportunity out there on the basketball court? All right, again, I love JJ. This game wasn't on JJ. This was not JJ's game. This was the players not showing up. This was the players deciding that we are good enough to beat Detroit without showing up, and they didn't, and they lost. This was a terrible display by the players. This wasn't on JJ Redick at all, in my opinion. Outside of I think you should have played Dalton Connect a little more, especially with the guy that we have, or the way that the guys were playing, right? I think, what do you have to lose? Why not throw Connect out there and see if he can kind of get hot, especially against a team like Detroit? Cam Reddish, defensively, the problem with Cam Reddish, look, I have been, if you've been part of this channel for a while, you know how big I am on Cam. I am a big Cam Reddish guy. If he just had a serviceable offensive game, I'm not even talking about elite or great. If he just had a serviceable offensive game, that guy would probably be starting for the Lakers. He's getting after it defensively. I love the tenacity. I love, the commentator, the commenter kept saying he keeps trying to get in skirmish. He's over here trying to squabble with everybody. Good. We need that, right? Get up there, squabble with every single one of them. Line them up. Let's go, right? I love that intensity. He was the only one that really had intensity, right? So it's frustrating. These kind of games are incredibly, incredibly frustrating. Incredibly frustrating. It is. It's frustrating, right? Again, I don't want to overreact to this game, but it is. It's so hard to watch a game like this. Because, again, it's one thing if they just lost, right? If they just lose the game, Detroit just shot the lights out, right? It was just one of those games. I would have came up here like I always do and go, hey, don't get too high with the highs, don't get too low with the lows. It was a bad game. You chalk it up. They were hot. Tip your hat to them. That's not what this was. This was a poor effort game by the Lakers. The Lakers lost this game. The Lakers did nothing to try to go and snatched this game in a game that they absolutely should have won. And that's where I'm frustrated. That's why it's just, this is very disappointing. Again, this isn't on JJ Redick. I know people always want to find that one person. This isn't solely on D'Lo. This isn't solely on JJ Redick. This is on the team not showing up and playing basketball. It's that simple. What was JJ Redick supposed to do? None of these guys showed up, right? Like, we don't have a bench. It's not like he has this well of players he can just jump into that can just come in and start playing for us. No, bench is terrible, right? We've talked about that numerous times. Bench is just bad. We're like 30th in the league in bench points, right? Like, they're bad. So it's just, again, it's incredibly frustrating. But anyway, let's get into the super chats and regular chats. I just needed to vent and get that out. I appreciate you guys. Also, real quick, hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. And let's get into the super chats, and then we'll jump into the regular chats. Stakes coming out, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Ham is right. D'Lo and AR can't play together. Poor D. Yeah, they can't. I mean, look, we talked about it all offseason. I've maintained it. I made video on D'Angelo Russell being the odd man out. Made a video on Austin Reeves. Right? I've been critical of Reeves. Every time I'm critical of Reeves, everyone says I'm wrong. But Reeves just keeps proving me right. Like, how many sample size games do we need? All these, like, look, I love Reeves. I've hyped up Reeves. I've talked about Reeves like he's the second coming to Michael Jordan. He's not consistent. He's not. He cannot shoot consistently. I love his aggression. He's been much more aggressive. I love that he's picked it up on the defense side, although this game he was pretty bad, and last game he was pretty bad. But for the most part, overall, he's been much better defensively than he was last year. It's the shooting. He can't shoot. He can't shoot. He's either lights out or he can't find the bottom of the bucket to save his life. And every time I say that, everyone's like, Tyler, you don't know what you're talking about. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. We have an entire season last year. Everyone's like, oh, but he shot 37% from floor. Yes, it's an average at the end of the season. I'm talking about he is inconsistent, and it just averages out to that. I don't care what your average is. I care about what are you producing nightly on the basketball court. Again, Austin Reeves is supposed to be this untouchable player. I'm not saying you trade him for a bag of chips. I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying anything like that. But we need better consistency from guys. All right? D'Angelo Russell, he's the odd man out. He's gone. I would be shocked. And I've said this all offseason. I said it last live stream. I'm going to maintain it. I will be shocked if D'Angelo Russell is on this Lakers team come the trade deadline. I like D'Lo. I've been a big D'Lo guy. Been a big D'Lo defender. But he doesn't make sense with the current roster. If we didn't have Reeves, sure, keep D'Lo. But we do have Reeves. And the Lakers aren't going to trade Reeves. They're not. Right? So we need better consistency from Reeves. And you need to turn D'Lo into a bigger need. Bruce Brown, Cam Johnson. We need something. The perimeter defense is terrible. Terrible. We're like 11th in half court defense. We're terrible in transition. And we're like 27th, I think, or we're 27th in total defense. And I think we're 30th in perimeter defense. Right? Like, it's terrible. Terrible. Gotta get off of guys. Jason, coming out, $5 super chat. Thank you so much, buddy. I appreciate you. Even though I know this is going to be a Celtics thing. But I still appreciate you, buddy. Out in the woods with no service. Did the Celtics win tonight? Lakers will be fine. Pistons gave us a close one. Stu 2025. Keep up the great work. Well, first off, Jason, I appreciate you. Actually, that's a good question. Did the Celtics win? Probably. Good guess. I know that they were killing them, but they smoked them. Won by almost 30. But first off, Jason, I appreciate you. Out in the woods with no service sounds like a horror movie to me, buddy. But yeah, no, look, again, I'm not saying like, oh, Lakers are terrible, like season's over. It's nothing like that. But this is just a very frustrating game, right? Again, Pistons, they're actually a decent team this year. They got veterans, they got shooters, they picked up some nice pieces. They want to be competitive, right? Again, I don't care that they lost. I care in the manner in which they lost. Just a poor performance game by the Lakers, right? Again, if Detroit just shot the lights out and it's just like, there's nothing you can do. You just chalk your hands up, fine. Or if Detroit just had that game where, just nothing was working, Lakers shot poorly, nothing's just clicking. It was just a bad game for the Lakers, great game for the Pistons. Pistons executed. They did what they were supposed to do. Lakers did what they were supposed to do, but just didn't work out. Fine. I would have came out here and it would have been a different conversation. That's not what this game was. This game was just a poor effort game by the Lakers. All this was. Poor effort game by the Lakers. Now, I'm not saying, again, Chicken Little, the sky is falling, boy who cried wolf, anything like that. But we do. Again, we need trades. We have clear redundancies, and players aren't consistently playing well. It's a problem. It's a real problem. But appreciate you, Jason. Thank you so much. Dustin, coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Zach LaVine, trade stat also. Christie has regressed. Reddish should get his minutes. Vincent stealing money. Our guards suck. So, look, Dustin, you know how high I am on Zach LaVine. I am like screaming and have been screaming from the rooftops to anyone that'll hear me. Go get Zach LaVine. I think we really desperately need Zach LaVine badly. I forgot to plug this in. Sorry. Hang on. Give me 1 second. There we go. I plugged in my charger, but I didn't actually plug it in the thing. But yeah, look, go get Zach LaVine. I've said it. We need it. Right? Even on a bad night, you're going to get 15 from the guy. Right? Like, gives you the athleticism we need, gives us the rim pressure, gives you another consistent scorer. Night in and night out, he's going to produce. Night in and night out, he's going to deliver. Will he have a bad game here and there? Sure, everyone has bad games. My problem isn't a guy having a bad game. My problem is the lack of consistency, right? It's like 3 or 4 games where you're bad, 3 or 4 games when you're good. You can't have that. I need you, if you have a bad game, I need 3 or 4 good ones, right? Bad game, 3 or 4 good ones, right? Like, not bad game, bad game, bad game, good game, good game, good game, good game, good game, bad game, bad game, bad, like say that 10 times fast. But that's my problem. Look, again, Christie, I don't think you can say Christie regressed personally, just because, again, he never got an opportunity, right? Like, if he was killing it in the minutes that he got, which was like very sparingly and inconsistent, and you thrusted him into the same type of role, then yes, he could regress. But you're talking about a 21-year-old kid who basically didn't play to now having to be the 6th best player on this team. And we're 6 games in, 7 games in now, right? Like, I can't get behind like, oh, Max Christie is trash yet, right? I'm not saying he won't be. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that we gotta be patient with Max Christie, as hard and frustrating as that is. Again, he's not supposed to be. What serious team has a 21-year-old, yes, he's not a rookie, but he might as well be, being a real star on this team, being the leader on the bench? All right, like, there's not really any, right? Like, again, like, I'm talking about true, like, top team in the league, right? Like, I don't see it. So, again, I'm not saying that you don't trade him. I'm not saying that but I can't jump on him yet until we get, 20, 30 games a season. And then if he has no progress, like, if there's no change, then yes. Then it's like, all right, the guy's he's just not what we need him to be, right? Like, where's Gabe Vincent? Gabe Vincent was a proven leader. He was the 3rd best player, arguably, on a finals team. Where has he been, right? Like, why are we getting on Max Christie, the 21-year-old kid who played, 8 minutes? How many minutes did he play today? He played 4 minutes, right? Like, Gabe Vincent played 17 and gave you goose eggs across the board. Right? Like, why is Max Christie, the 21-year-old kid? And it's not just, I'm not trying to single you out, Dustin. Speaking generally, just want to make that clear. Just generally speaking, right? Like, we're always like, oh, Max Christie's trash, he sucks. Why is the 21-year-old kid garbage, but the 28-year-old who's been in the league several years, it was supposed to be a key acquisition, making $11 million a year, and was one of our big acquired players last season, and missed the entire season because of injury, now came back and was supposed to prove something, is giving us goose eggs and no production in 17 minutes compared to the kid that gave us 4 minutes. Again, like, make that make sense. That's my problem. Like, I see so many people are like, Max Christie, Max Christie, Max Christie, Max Christie. What about Gabe? What about all these other guys that are on the bench? Like, it's not just Max Christie, and he's still even getting inconsistency now. Again, he's a 21-year-old kid that just went from nothing to, like, we need you to be the 6th best player. It's a lot. I can't just grab my pitchfork and start going after Christie yet, right? When you have a 28-year-old who's been in the league for 6 years now, 7 years, whatever it's been, and he can't even give you nothing, no production, nothing. He's shooting like 20% from 3 on the season, right? Like, I can't get behind that personally. But again, I appreciate you, Dustin. Nonetheless, I appreciate you. Jason, coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you don't like, comment, share, and subscribe to As It Stands Lakers, and click the bell icon to get new updates. What are you doing? Appreciate you, Jason. Thank you, buddy. Seriously, I really do appreciate that. Thank you for super chat. And yes, please, as Jason said, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications, share the videos, comment, do all that stuff. I really appreciate you. Thank you, Jason. Seriously, it was very kind of you. Michael, I hope I said that correctly. Michael, Gabe is Kendrick Nunn 2.0 Miami. Seriously, first off, again, thank you so much for super chat coming out $2 super chat. Secondly, yes, man, I don't ever want to see the Lakers go get another Miami guard ever, right? Like, Miami could have the next prime Ja, and if he wants to come to the Lakers, I'll be like, no. Like, keep him away from the Lakers. It's just wild, right? Like, the Lakers just, they have the worst luck when it comes to these, like, Miami guards, man. Kendrick Nunn was big acquisition, gets hurt, misses the season, comes back, awful, like terrible. Gabe Vincent comes in, big acquisition, misses the season. I know he played like 11 games, but essentially missed the season, and then comes back, terrible. It's just like, can we catch a break with these guys? God. Can we catch a break? But I appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into regular chat. Try to power through as many as I can. Yeah, that was a poor performance. There's no excuse to lose to the Detroit Pistons when you get 2 whole days off. Meanwhile, Detroit played yesterday. Agreed. Again, it's just, this is, title says it, inexcusable loss. That's what this is. This is an inexcusable loss. Cannot lose this game. I mean, he only played 4 minutes, like I mentioned, right? Like, what about Gabe that played 17 minutes and gave you 0? He didn't even give you a rebound. Nothing, right? Literally. Where's Max Christie? Max Christie, at least in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Sorry, I'm trying to find. Okay, yeah, he gave you one rebound in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Gabe Vincent in 17 minutes didn't take a single shot, didn't get a single rebound, didn't register a single assist, didn't get a single block, got 1 steal, and had 1 turnover. So he basically washed out. Dude played almost 18 minutes. 17 minutes and 46 seconds to be exact is what he played. And basically, and gave you nothing. Right? Like, why are we blaming the 21-year-old kid that got 4 minutes and not the 28-year-old vet that is played 17, almost 18 minutes and played worse, surprisingly? Like, that's my problem. I guess Lakers wanted to gift the Pistons on early Christmas, apparently. Yeah. This is so embarrassing. All the teams, the freaking Pistons, the players need to remember this loss, and I hope it haunts them to make sure they don't lose like this again. Yeah, again, I don't. It's one thing to get a loss. I don't mind the loss. I don't mind taking a loss, right? It's the manner in which they played that led to the loss. If it was just a bad game, fine. Bad games happen. Any team can beat anybody on any given night, right? It happens. Right? Celtics had some duds last season. Celtics had a 30-point lead and lost it in like a quarter and a half, right? Like, bad games happen. But that's not what this was. This was a poor effort by the Lakers that just is inexcusable. It really is. It's inexcusable. This is not the same Pistons team. They have veterans and shooters now, but the Lakers should not have lost. Yeah, exactly. Look, I said the same thing earlier, right? They got veterans. They got shooters. This is, they want to be a good team. They want to be competitive, right? Like, they went the Houston route. But this is a game, again, that you should have won. There's no excuse for you to win this, especially when you were down. Like, they got it to 6 going into the fourth quarter. And I was like, okay, good. Here we go. We righted the ship. Let's lock in, play some intensity. Let's go win this game so I can come on, do the stream. I'm still going to be upset and talk about how they really dropped the ball here, but at least we got the win. And they just didn't do that. They just didn't do that. Again, this had nothing to do with JJ Redick. This isn't JJ Redick's fault. This is the players not showing up to play. Again, I know you just always troll. I know that's what you do, but that is going to be a regular thing. I'm sure we'll see. JJ cost us this game. He saw Reddish and Vincent's defense get us back into the game and then never put him back in. Losses on him. I disagree. This, again, we got into a 20-point hole with our main guys. Like, by no effort, lack of rebounding, lack of defense, lack of execution, right? Like, again, Gabe Vincent gave you goose eggs across the board. Cam Reddish, I like Cam Reddish, but you also got to score, right? Like, I like him in spot minutes. I just, this to me was a player game. The players did not show up. Where was Reeves? Where was D'Lo? Where was, Rui Hachimura? Where was the guys that were playing? Again, like, I'm not saying JJ coached this like master class of a game, but still, again, the players didn't show up. We got in a 20-point hole to Detroit pretty much out the gate. That's what it is. AD nearly dropped 40. Reeves had 17, and meanwhile, D'Lo had 11, and Rui had 8. We need to trade now. Look, I said Lakers need to get a trade. Mr. Man Bun got to get off my team immediately. Tally, Jesus. How did I Jesus? What did I say? I just said that they needed to win this game. They can't afford to lose. You got to beat teams that you're supposed to beat. Let's see. Someone tell Pelinka to start watching Lakers basketball. This idiot does well. Of course he does. Again, like the asking price, I've said this before. Which one player, got to keep in mind, one player, because all of them want both of the Lakers first. Which one player do the Lakers give up both first for and makes us a contender? I'd love to hear it because I don't believe that exists. I don't believe that there's one singular player out there that by himself makes the Lakers a contender. I think the closest is Zach LaVine. But I think outside of Zach LaVine, and even he, I don't think makes us like the best, the top. Like, I think the potential is there. But even he, I think we would need a couple other pieces, like one or two more pieces, right? Because right now, that's the asking price. Everyone wants both first from the Lakers. Lakers have been incredibly active in trying to get Walker Kessler right now. And the answer is no, I want both your first. Not just for Walker Kessler. It's not counting anything else, right? Like, again, what's the one singular player? Like, we have to be patient on the trade front, right? And we're on a road trip. Like, the Lakers aren't going to make a trade in the middle of the road trip. So my hope is we get back from the road trip and they make a move. But you got to keep in mind, right? Like, again, the asking price is insane right now for everybody. No one wants to be the team that makes the Laker trade and they win another championship. No one does. At least if they make the trade, they want to be able to say, like, hey, we fleeced the Lakers, right? Like, we really fleeced them. It's not over, but it's definitely incredibly frustrating. Question for y'all, is JJ using AD too much? No, not at all. I mean, last season we were complaining that Darvin Ham wasn't using AD much. He's the best player on your team. He's your superstar. He should be the guy he should be taking 25 shots a game, right? He should be averaging 30 a game. He took 23. Like, he should be around 23 to 25 shots a game. He's the young star. Like, that's who he is. But the other guys need to fill in the gaps. Can't play D'Lo and Reeves together yet. Type of loss you think back on when you're trying to get to play. Oh, I said the same thing earlier too, right? Like, this is the type of loss that could be the difference between you making the playoffs or being a play-in team again. They look back and just go, man, if we would have gotten that Detroit game, if we would have gotten this, man, we would have gotten that. Reeves can't shoot. Shaking my head. Look, I've been saying it. He's incredibly inconsistent. And every time I say it, everyone tells me I'm an idiot. But he just keeps proving it. Like, again, how long do we need before it's like, okay, he just consistently can't shoot, right? Again, I'm not talking about anything else other than shooting. I like Austin Reeves as a player, but he cannot consistently shoot the basketball. Nor D'Lo. Yeah, D'Lo's been tough. This is why I wanted to trade him. Like I said, I would be shocked if D'Lo is on this roster come trade deadline. We need to shake this roster up, bro. This was pitful. Agree. Yep. Carlos, I see the belt comment. I can't put it up because it has a naughty word in it, and I just don't want YouTube to flag it. They didn't outplay Connect. He just barely played. Yeah, I said it earlier. They should have. I would have liked to see him, especially in a game like this. I think there's a good opportunity. He made his first couple shots. This was an opportunity to start allowing him to get what he needed to do. Let's see. Trade time. Yeah, definitely gonna have to start looking into it. Let's see. What exactly happened? I don't understand. Just poor effort. Lakers just didn't show up. One team showed up and played. The other team didn't. The other team thought, oh, we can beat the Lakers or we can beat the Pistons. We don't have to show up and play basketball. And they got ran through. Literally, start to finish, got ran through. Barely sleep on Detroit yet, thanks. Detroit will be solid. Like, they're not a contender or anything like that, but they're a good team. Yeah, that marginally, yeah, that's frustrating. Saw D'Lo turnover and Rui no effort, and LeBron doesn't want to be there. I mean, I don't know about LeBron not wanting to be there. Yeah, but turnovers need to cut down too. Yeah, that is crazy. You must be new to the channel. I make trade videos pretty much every day. Again, I just relay the news. It's not I'm not an insider. I'm just a fan. I'm just the guy that comes on, talks basketball. I am no insider. Just a fan. I don't think a trade will happen until Pelinka resigns. I mean, Rob Pelinka's made a trade every year he's been in office, except for last season. And last season was the run it back season. Let's see what we can do. Right. Outside of that, Rob Pelinka's made a trade every single offseason. And he's actively trying to make a trade right now. Right. So I don't doubt Rob Pelinka will make a trade. If a trade is on the table, like, that's one of the few things I think he will do because he's done it every year. Like, since the moment he took office, he's made a trade every year. Except, like I said, except for last year, which was the, hey, let's see how this goes year. Right? So I trust Pelinka to get a trade done. Now, will he get a trade in which we don't get fleeced? That's the question. Right? You can criticize. There's a lot of things to criticize Pelinka for, but actually doing a trade, I just don't believe is one of them. Because again, the guy has done trades every single year. Just, will he get a good trade done? I'm glad he's finally starting to be patient. You look at some of those earlier trades, we were getting fleeced, man. Absolute fleeced. I'd rather him take his time and get the right moves done than like just do a trade just to do a trade. And now it's remember, you can always get worse. You can, like, look at the Westbrook trade, right? Like, you can always get worse. We need to get better. Oh, got a super chat. And Candy. I ate a lot of you the last few days. Pause. Appreciate you. Coming out the $5 super chat. Your secret identity is safe with me, Candy. Dennis, Zach, Dorian Finney-Smith, Braun 80, or DK Wood, Kessler. Off the bench. By D'Lo, Rui, Gabe, Cam. Yeah, I mean, at this point, you can trade pretty much anybody. Money works. Reeves could not guard him. Yeah, Reeves. Look, Reeves in his defense, because again, I'm very critical of Austin Reeves, but I like to be fair. The last 2 games, he's been bad defensively. But the preseason and the first 5 games, he was actually very good defensively. So I'm hoping that it was just, it's just a rough game. He's dealing with an injury, right? Which, he wants to play all 82 games or whatever. Okay, fine. Then, let him go, whatever. Like, or not let him go. Let him sit for a game or 2 to kind of get right. Maybe that's what it is. But he needs to be better. He needs to get back to being better defensively. Yeah, look, at this point, trade whatever you have to trade, right? Like I said, I think we need several guys. I would love to get Dennis Schroeder, I'm assuming you mean, Zach LaVine, and Dorian Finney-Smith. I would do that all day if we could. Yeah, I would do that all day, including Sunday. I really think, and again, I could be completely wrong. Again, I am not an insider. I am just a fan. I am just the guy that just talks Lakers. I really think, though, the Lakers are going to get the Jazz trade done. I don't know when, but I think that's going to get done. I think the Lakers are going to get Kessler and either Clarkson or hopefully Sexton. I really don't want Clarkson. If the trade gets done soon, right? Because they're not going to do the trade until they get back from the road trip minimum. So we have at least until the 7th? Because we play the 6th is when we play the Grizzlies. So the earliest I think the trade gets done would be the 7th. Hopefully it's then. But I do think at some point the Lakers are going to get Kessler and Jordan Clarkson, right? again, ideally, I'd love Colin Sexton. However, if we can get it done sooner rather than later, then we could still trade Jordan Clarkson. So that'd be a 14 million that you could add to a potential trade. Just shy of 15 million that you could add to a potential trade to get something done. So I wouldn't hate that. Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. I hope we get a couple trades done, or even send Jordan Clarkson in the Bulls deal, right? Like, to go get LaVine, get Kessler Levine, go make some moves. Let's get some stuff done. I am with it. Appreciate you, Candy. Thank you. Let's see. Tyler, I understand JJ wants it to be an Algerian offense, but I don't trust D'Lo and AR on a night-to-night basis to carry our offense. It's going to have to be LeBron James taking 8 shot attempts before. That's the problem, right? It's what I've talked about heavily. What I'm basically saying is we need to play through LeBron much more. When you have a top 10 player, you got to use him like a top 10 player. And let me find the third one. Trash. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Sorry, trying to find the third one. I think I just skipped it. Darn it. Here it is. Boom. Reduce AR. D'Lo's ball handling duties. If AR is going to throw 4 turnovers a game, D'Lo is going to be inconsistent as he is. They don't trust them. The responsibilities to begin with. The problem is you only have the players that you have, right? Like you have to trust that the Lakers are that the players are gonna show up most nights, right? Again, it's just the inconsistencies is the problem. I don't like D'Lo. I think that JJ Redick's talked about how he wants to let D'Lo be the playmaker more. I actually think that that's the right idea. Let him be playmaker more. But your problem is that you got 2 guys that are redundancy, and they're both inconsistent. So not only it's one thing to have a redundancy and both guys are playing great, right? Like having 2 guys give you 18 a night, shoot 40% from 3, and be able to give you 5 to 8 assists a night is not a bad thing to have, right? But when both don't play defense, both turn the ball over. Well, Austin Reeves has kind of been the big turnover. He's had a lot of turnovers lately, but turn the ball over. Both guys aren't consistent on a nightly basis on the offensive side, right? Like that's when the redundancy becomes an issue. That's when the redundancy becomes a problem. And that's where it lies. Problem is like running everything through LeBron all game, every game, he's gonna either get hurt or you're gonna wear him down by the playoffs, and then the season's over anyway. Your hope is that you can get AR and D'Lo and these guys to finally start getting consistent by putting them in proper spots, put them in proper position, and have them consistently understand and play their role, right? Like that's your only hope outside of a trade, of course. But I'm talking about because we don't know, I can't see the future, right? Like we don't know if a trade's going to get done. We want a trade. We're hoping a trade gets done, but we don't know, right? So the hope is that if you can get the redundancies, but in a positive light, then you'll be a good basketball team. You're going to win a lot of games, right? So that's the hope. But guys, Rui needs to work on finishing through contact. I agree. He's not a star, so he's not going to be. He's not going to get that whistle. Here in Japan, sports media, they're saying the same thing. Yeah, look, I love Rui. Look, I mean, you and me have talked about Rui heavily and talked about our love for Rui Hachimura. Man, that's how I got the nickname Laker Damas, was because of Rui Hachimura. So, look, I owe a lot to Rui Hachimura. I love Rui Hachimura. But he does. He needs to finish. He needs to find ways to finish through contact, be more physical in the finishing lane. He needs to continue to stay aggressive, right? Rui's at his best when he's aggressive and he's not settling, right? Obviously, this game he didn't get a ton of attempts, but still, I like to see when he is being aggressive. He's attacking the closeouts. He's getting to his spots. He's elevating, rising over the top. Shot selection's better. He had a couple shots this game that were just terrible decision making. Like he had that one where he was he got stuck, and instead of kicking it out and maybe posting up on Tobias Harris, he just tried to shoot it over him, and he just clanked it. Right? It's just better decision making. again, Rui is not supposed to be your best player, right? He's not a star, like you said. He is supposed to be your fifth best player. But consistencies are a thing. And look, I like Rui a lot. But again, like it's like the Lakers have real needs. And it's like unless Rui can figure out how to consistently provide those needs, then it's tough. It's really tough. Look, I agree. Losing the Pistons is ridiculous. I mean, like I said, an inexcusable loss. Oh, excuse me. I don't want to hear no more patience talk. Trade D'Lo, Rui, Gabe for Zach. We are not good enough. Like you need to make sure Zach is healthy. I know we all want to trade, especially after this game, which again I completely understand. I get the frustration. One, we're on a road trip. Two, you gotta give Zach 20 games, right? Because you don't want to make the trade now and then 5 games in, he's out for the season or something. So, yeah, Rui was not great. Lakers need to listen to the fans. We need to trade. I mean, look, they're working on it, so hopefully it gets done sooner rather than later. But you got to keep in mind, everyone wants to fleece the Lakers. No one wants to be the team to just do that. And we can't, like, you can't give both first to go get Walker Kessler. You can't give up both first to go get, Cam Johnson. Or, like, we need multiple moves. So the reason the Lakers have to be patient is because you gotta weed through all that and wait for somebody to come down to your asking price so you can make multiple moves. Now, if you get say, Walker Kessler and a Zach LaVine or a Walker Kessler, Bruce Brown, and Cam Johnson, now the Lakers are a contender, right? So, but the Lakers need to make sure that they're getting the best value, best bang for your buck. Too many 4 shots, no connect in the fourth. Yeah, I would have liked, especially this game, I would have liked to see it more. Worst thing. That was funny. I'm not going to pull the comment up, but that was funny. It was a funny comment. Yes, I do agree we need a trade. Like I said, Lakers have been active. So hopefully. I mean, every athletic backcourt exposes the Lakers, right? Like literally, like we got the same thing happened to us in the Cavs game. Every athletic backcourt for a team just exposes. We don't have the athleticism. We don't have it. I was responding to the comments and stuff like that. Like, I went and was going through the like I always do. Always go through the comments and try to respond to as many as I can. Sometimes it's hard. Got a lot going on in the day, but I always try to like get to as many as I can. And I was explaining to somebody the lack of athleticism, right? Like yes, we need a big man. Yes, we have specific needs, but we just need athleticism, right? Like you see teams like Detroit, a lot of the rebounds, offensive rebounds that we're getting were them just tracking down balls because all they have to do is just outrun D'Lo, Rui, and D'Angelo Russell, right? Or D'Lo, Rui, and Austin Reeves, right? We need athleticism. We need rim pressure. We need guys that can move their feet and stay in front of guys, even if they're not elite defensively. We just need guys that have the athleticism to get back in transition and that could beat down the court every time, right? Have guys that can stay in front of guys and allow Anthony Davis to clean stuff up rather than just getting blown by every possession, right? Like that's the problem. Let's see. LeBron could easily average 28 and 8. If you want to do, he's buying in a JJ system too much, and the team suffered for it because Reeves and D'Lo ball handling aren't as good as we think. I think D'Lo's fine. He just needs to look to make plays more, like getting more set actions for him. They're just kind of having him just go create. I'd rather see some more set actions for D'Lo. Reeves, as an initiator, look, I even made a video about it post today. As an initiator, I think Reeves is fine. It's when they're asking Reeves to do all this other stuff. He just is not capable. He's not a playmaker. I've talked about it a million times. He's a guy that can make plays. Big difference between a guy that can make plays and a playmaker. A lot of guys in the NBA can make plays, but they're not all playmakers, right? Like we need Austin Reeves to just stick within the parameters. Try not to do too much. Either be aggressive or make the simple play. Yeah, exactly. I said this earlier, right? Like everyone's so quick to jump on Max Christie, the 21-year-old kid who this is his first real role ever. But I don't hear anybody talking about Gabe Vincent, right? Like it's always like, oh, Max Christie's trash. Max Christie. What about the 28-year-old that was the big acquisition, that was the starting point guard on a finals team? Where is he? Right? Like, and he cost us the whole season. Right? Like, why are we not more critical of him? Why are we more critical on the 21-year-old kid who's just getting his first role? Let's see. Yeah, the inconsistencies are a real problem, 100%. This makes it too much more apparent we need two-way players, and Kessler agreed. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. T-Lo plays like he's too cool for school. Lifeless tonight. Both AD and Bron. Saying LeBron and AD were like? Or are you saying besides AD and LeBron? You're saying besides AD and LeBron, you're right. Let's see. Yeah, Rui he just needs to be more aggressive finishing. He needs to fight through contact better. No need. So you'd rather have a guy that's just sitting on the bench all season? Facts. Let's see. Yeah, seriously. JJ is definitely not. JJ is much better than it's night and day better. But again, coaching only gets you so far. The player stuff, you can have the best game plan, but it was the same. I defended Darvin Ham regularly last season, right? Because the Lakers' poor performance. Again, it's the same thing. This just proves my point all season last year. It doesn't matter who the coach is. If the players don't show up, if the players don't execute, if the players don't play the right way, you can have prime Phil Jackson. It doesn't matter. The players are the ones that have to play the game, right? It's not like you have, a prime Kobe and Shaq sitting on the bench where you can just go, hey, guys, the starters are trash, so we need you guys to go in there and close it out, right? Again, this had nothing to do with coaching. This was just a bad performance and bad effort by the team. The team needs to take accountability, right? Like people always want to find that one scapegoat, right? It has to be D'Lo. It has to be JJ. It has to be. We can't just say it was everybody, right? When that's the reality, right? Again, basketball is a team sport. They weren't playing one-on-one out there. JJ Redick didn't suit up and get on the basketball court and go, give me the ball. Right? Like it was literally the Lakers' lack of effort. They got dominated on the boards. Literally, what was the defensive disparity? It was Lakers had 49 rebounds to 62, and they gave up 17 offensive rebounds. What is JJ supposed to do? Is he supposed to go out there and rebound himself? Right? Like that's lack of effort. It's lack of chasing down balls. Cam Reddish was a plus 10 in 14 minutes, and Connect will never get in a groove if he doesn't get consistent play. Look, that's my only real knock is I think that this was a great game to see what Dalton Connect could do. Let's give him an opportunity and see what he can do. Let's see. What an embarrassment for the Lakers here. It's awful. I'm starting to realize Reeves is good, but only compared to D'Lo. He's good if you have a third guy, right? Like Zach LaVine, for example. If you have Zach LaVine and he is your third guy on a nightly basis, and now Reeves is your fourth, then yes, Reeves is going to be very good, right? Because now he doesn't have as much pressure. Two, he doesn't have as much responsibility. And three, his inconsistencies you can bounce back from, right? So when he has bad games, it's not the end of the world, right? But when you have a guy in D'Lo who's inconsistent and not giving you what you need, and then Austin Reeves is inconsistent, not giving you what you need, right? Well, then now it all falls on LeBron and AD. But if you get a guy like a Zach LaVine, for example, which is why I've been so adamant about getting Zach LaVine, even on a bad night, is going to give you an efficient 15, right? And then when you get that, and on the good nights, he's going to give you 20 plus, right? Well, now Reeves drops to your fourth guy. Now Reeves, when he has those games and he's 7 of 8 from 3 and he's cooking and he's shooting 12 free throws and he's doing all the things that we need him to do, then all of a sudden, Lakers are probably winning every single one of those games. That's the difference. Keep Gabe on the bench and give him 0 minutes. Gabe, yeah, seriously. I mean, I'd rather play Cam Reddish over Gabe, right? Like at this point. Tyler calling Gabe trash. I haven't seen him in a while. It is. Dude, the guy, again, it's like guy's giving you 17 minutes a game and giving you nothing. Literally goose eggs across the board, right? Like it's wild. It's absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. Lakers played like a team that's guaranteed a deep playoff run. Took off the night against Detroit. Yeah, 100%, Chris. Right there with you. Well, again, one team showed up like they meant something. The other team came in like they were, like they just were like, oh, hey, we're gonna win this game. They don't have that luxury. Agreed. They're not that good. Sorry, trying to find something to me. Vincent, Vando, Reeves, Christie need to be traded for athletic upgrades. Team guards and forwards have career games versus the Lakers. I would personally like to keep. Obviously, no, I don't think anyone's untradeable. If you can turn Christie into, a better upgrade and piece. But again, he's 21 years old, asking to play a bigger role. What does he look like when he doesn't have to be your 6th best player every night? What does he look like when he gets to be your 8th? Right? Like it's just, again, like you also need young talent on this roster. Like at some point, again, if you can get something that makes sense, and it's like, man, if we turn Max Christie into this, we're about as close to a championship as you get, then sure. But like, I wouldn't just trade Christie as like salary filler. Right? Like it has to be something that's worth it. Because again, he's a 21-year-old kid that can play defense. He's inconsistent right now, but still, like again, he's 21 years old, being asked to be the 6th best player every night when he had no real opportunity ahead of time. Like that's the problem. I'm past no way we lost this. My expectations is hurting right now. I know, I feel it, especially after such a great start. I've never seen worse defense performance by Reeves today. I'm not even joking. AR got scored every single play. Yeah, because he can't. He doesn't have the athleticism to stay in front of those quicker guards. Exactly. This wasn't on JJ. This was on the team, not playing. I don't care how good the coach is. If the players don't show up, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. They could get LaVine, Ao, Craig, Kessler, 380 win. That's good. If they move off D'Lo, Reeves, and Gabe. Yes. I am with it. Go make whatever you got to do at this point. Yeah, exactly. There's no way. This isn't on JJ Redick. This literally has nothing to do with JJ. This has to do with the team not showing up. Get Walker Kessler yet. Yes, exactly. That's why they're not a true contender. Talked about it all offseason. Do they have a puncher's chance? Could they win? Of course. Right? They're not terrible, but they're not a team that you look at and go, man, like that, like nobody's beating them, right? They're not one of those teams. Gabe Vincent, yeah. All Tyler had to say about Gabe is that he's trash and needs to be traded and moved on. Yeah, dude, the guy's been awful. Awful. Absolutely terrible. Reeves being untouchable shows they are not serious about it. Look, I don't know if they're unserious about contending. I mean, also you want to hype up your players, right? You want to hype up your guys. However, I don't like Austin Reeves should not be untradeable. Like I don't think Austin Reeves is untradeable. If you can turn him into an upgraded player or a player for a bigger need, I think you do it. Right? Like I was big on trade him for DeJounte Murray. Get that done. Let's see. Especially the way Dennis Schroeder's playing like Germany. Dennis, man, that dude's been unbelievable. I don't know about that yet. If they don't, as long as it, well, I mean, we'll see how Denver looks when the Lakers play them. But I still think that this team in the playoffs is going to be good. I'm not worried about their effort in the playoffs. I'm worried about just, do they have the talent? Are they good enough overall? But I don't necessarily think they'll be a first round exit. Let's see. I want Levine and Kessler, but we also badly need perimeter defense. For Zach, I'd probably go D'Lo, Gabe, JV, and whoever else for salary. Then get Kessler, Jalen Trino picks and get done. Yeah, look, Lakers need several things, but I just think if you get Kessler and Levine, you're about as close as you can get to winning being a champion without having to go get a guy. Maybe you can go find maybe like Torrey Craig or an AO or something. They do still need defense, so I agree. Still think the Lakers win 52 games. I don't think that they're going to be a playing team. I still think that they'll win. I think this is just bad, poor game, but we'll see. So when are we going to blame Rob Pelinka? I don't want to hear about no trades. Wasn't there. You got to make a trade. Our teams are whole. Yeah, but again, okay. So again, broke with no money. What is one move, one guy, just one? What is one guy that you would trade both first for that makes us a contender? Let's hear it. I ask this every time, and I never seem to get an answer. What is one guy that you will trade both first for right now? Just one. I don't want to hear Kessler and Jeremy Grant. No, one guy, Walker Kessler, right now. You can get him. Utah said you can have him. He's yours for the low price of 2 firsts. It's not counting Jordan Clarkson. It's not counting Colin Sexton. It's not counting anything. Literally, just for Walker Kessler. Jalen Chifino and 2 firsts. Kessler's yours. Here you go. Jeremy Grant, 2 firsts. Rui Hachimura, and they wanted Jared Vanderbilt, but now Jared Vanderbilt's off the book. Okay, again, what's one guy that you can trade both firsts for right now that makes us a contender? I don't think that exists. I think the closest thing out there is Zach LaVine, but even that, I think we need other things. I just think he brings you the closest as a singular player. So again, who is that one guy? It's easy to say. I don't want to hear excuses. Get a trade done. What is that trade? Because remember, to both sides, I would love if Rob Pelinka could just pick up the phone. Hey, look, we're going to give you an unprotected first and, a couple players for, Zach LaVine, Walker Kessler, and Jeremy Grant, right? Like, boom, done. And that's it, and it's over, right? But that's not how it works. It doesn't work that way, right? Like, they have to agree to that trade. They have to agree to being willing to do whatever it is that you're agreeing to, right? And right now, every team goes, we want both your first. So until that asking price drops, you're stuck, right? You're stuck. Lakers have no defense, yes. 2 firsts for Kessler is absurd. Yes, agreed. I'm not really big on Sharp, if I'm being honest. I'm not, personally. If he's an add-on, sure. I don't mind if he's an add-on, but let's see. It's display. I'm right there with you, 100%. That's great. Season just started and Tyler's blood pressure is going up. It's going to be a long season. Appreciate you, JoJo. Hopefully not. Hopefully this is just kind of the one game. Again, they just lost. I wouldn't feel the way that I feel, but it's how they lost. It was a poor effort, poor play. All right. I'm going to answer a handful of more questions. I'm going to get out of here because I got a lot of videos that I got a lot of stuff to start diving into here. So, all right, let's do, let me bring up a full page and let's get through a full page here. Connect needs more minutes. That's a no-brainer. Kid comes in and smacks 3. He's a Bucky. Yeah. I think they need to give him a little more opportunity as well. Stakes coming out, $2 super chat. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Get rid of Pelinka. For who? For who? Look, I've said this before. I see a lot of people that are like, get rid of Pelinka. There we go. Sorry, it like froze up on my end. I'm back. We're back. All right, there we go. Again, Bob Myers. I was gonna say Bob Myers, right? Why in the world would Bob Myers want to go to the Lakers? And Jeanie Buss is going to undermine, veto, and do everything. Rob Pelinka has made 2 trades that Jeanie Buss vetoed, completely vetoed, right? We were never going to do the Russell Westbrook trade, and we were going to do Buddy Hield and then start working on other stuff, right? And Jeanie said, no, go get Russell Westbrook because LeBron and AD won, right? LeBron and AD went to the thing and hung out and all that, right? Boom. Okay, Rob Pelinka lines up a deal, Russell Westbrook, for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. What do we need more than anything right now? Oh, that's right, a center. And we would have gotten one of the best floor spacing, shot blocking centers in the league. And Jeanie Buss goes, no, vetoes it. What respectable GM would, in their right mind, would want to come to the Lakers when Jeanie Buss, Linda Rambis, and Kurt Rambis are going to tell them how to do their jobs? Like, no one's going to want to come. Like, we don't even know what Rob Pelinka can do because Jeanie Buss, he has to make sure Jeanie Buss, Linda Rambis, and Kurt Rambis are okay with it first, right? He's got his hands tied behind his back every time he wants to do anything. Most organizations let the GM be the GM, not the Lakers. Not the Lakers. You said Rob's got to put his foot down and say, I got to do my job. Yeah, and then what's going to happen? He's gone, and they're just going to bring in another yes man, right? Like, would you do that at your – are you going to go to your boss and be like, hey, especially if you're making millions a year, are you going to go to your boss and be like, hey, I got to do my job, boss. Get off my back. Get out of here. I'm going to do this anyway. No. It's easy to say that. It's easy to say, like, he's got to put his foot down. And she's going to say, okay, get out of here. And then that trade's not going to get done anyway. He's out of a job, and a new GM's going to come in and go, yes, boss. Okay. Of course. Okay, you want me to – no, you don't want me to do that trade? Okay. What about this trade? Oh, no, okay. Well, what trade do you think is best? Like, that's what you're going to get. That's what you're going to get, right? What? Hell yeah, Magic did it? Magic resigned. What are we talking about? No, he didn't. He resigned because he wasn't allowed to do his job and he was being undermined and undercut and all that stuff. Again, Magic Johnson exposed the Lakers. He said the reason he quit, literally out of nowhere, like just decided like, hey, I'm done. Why are you quitting? Because I can't do my job. He literally said he can't do his job. Like, again, Magic Johnson did not do that. And Magic Johnson has a relationship with Jeanie Buss probably better than any. At first self, it's Magic Johnson. And even he couldn't do it, right? You got to remember, Rob Pelinka is the one that built the contending team. Rob Pelinka is the one that went and got Anthony Davis and then went and signed all the guys to go get the contending team, right? Magic Johnson resigned the year before, and we got Danny Green and Dwight and all those guys. We signed them in the offseason. Rob Pelinka put together the championship team. Rob Pelinka then upgraded the championship team the following season. And if Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt, we're probably winning a back-to-back. And that was with a one-legged LeBron. That was with a hurt Andre Drummond. That was with a hurt. Who else was hurt? There was who else was it? There was somebody else that was hurt. Schroeder, that's what it was. Schroeder had got COVID and like fell off a cliff production-wise, right? And then Anthony Davis went down, and that was it. And then he went to go try to upgrade the roster again and go get Buddy Hield, and then was in talks with DeMar DeRozan and all that. And then Jeanie decided to, hey, go get Russell Westbrook. Because LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook went to Anthony Davis's house and said, we will do whatever it takes. Right? Remember, they were handing out courtside or whatever, and everyone was like joking, like, oh, are they going to team up together? And then what happened? Next, like literally 3 days later or whatever, all of a sudden, boom, Russell Westbrook's a Laker. And they said that the three of them at that night after the game all went to Anthony Davis's house, and they all talked about how they wanted to team up and play together and how Russ really wanted to be in LA. So they went to Jeanie Buss, and they said, go get Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook was never even on the radar for Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka was in the process of getting a deal done. Sacramento was furious because the deal was done, and Jeanie had to veto it so they could go make the trade for Russell Westbrook. So again, right, like he goes to upgrade that, and then tries to take Russell Westbrook, try to turn him into Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, and Jeanie vetoes it again. Otherwise, we'd have Buddy Hield, who's looking like prime Klay Thompson for the Warriors, and Miles Turner, who solves like 90% of the Lakers' issues right now. We'd have those two guys on this roster. And Jeanie vetoed it. All right. So again, like, how much is Rob supposed to do? Right? Like, what is he supposed to do? Again, I'm not saying there's a lot to criticize Rob for. Right? A lot of the contracts that he's made, decisions he's made, right? Keeping guys around, giving player options. There's a lot to criticize Rob Pelinka for. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a perfect GM, but he's not as bad as people. He's just the front man. He's the face. So everyone just goes, he's trash. Rather than understanding what the problem is Jeanie. Problem is Jeanie can't stay out of it. Right? I get she's the owner. I get she loves the Lakers and she wants to do what she feels is best for the organization. But you got to stay out of it. Right? You got to stay out of it. If you hired Rob Pelinka to do the job, right? If you believe he can do the job, let him do the job. Let him. Get out of it. Get out of his way. Let him do the job. If you don't believe he can do the job, then fire him and bring somebody in that you do believe, and then let them do the job. But that's the problem. Jeanie Buss wants to micromanage everything. And as long as she's micromanaging everything, guess what? You're not gonna get the things done that you need to get done. And no respectable GM, Bob Myers, none of these guys. No respectable GM is going to go to the Lakers and go, oh man, I can't wait to be told how to do my job. Right? Like the only way, like again, Jerry Buss stayed out of it. Like he gave his input, he talked about stuff, but he let Jerry West and them do what you got to do. I don't know how to do it. You do it. Right? Don't get me wrong. He was opinionated. He gave his points. He did whatever, but he always trusted his guy. If that's what you think is best, do it. Right? Like, when did you ever hear Jerry Buss vetoing trades? We've heard Jeanie veto 3 in the last 3 years. Right? Like, we had the only time we ever heard of a trade getting vetoed was Chris Paul. Right? Like, again, that's the difference. But anyway, I got to skate on out of here, everyone. Thank you, everyone that gave me super chats. I really do appreciate it. Seriously, you guys are awesome. Everyone that just hung out with me, talked after this frustrating loss. Again, I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me. You guys are beautiful. Hopefully we bounce back. We got to beat Memphis. We do. I said we go 3-2 on this road trip. Obviously, that can't happen now because we lost 3 games. But you got to at least go 2-3. You cannot go 1-4. That would be an absolute disaster. You have to beat Memphis. You have to beat Memphis. You got to bounce back. Bounce back, get it right, and we'll be in good shape. But anyway, how do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments of this video. We'll talk some more. I'll try to go back and answer some of those comments like I usually do. Also, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button on the way out. You guys are beautiful. And I will see you all in the next one.